says David Parsons will working class point of view, no frills, part 6. Yeah, as we've talking about the technology that America, China and probably Russia has got, the three big powers, it's always in the thick of all this. They've got technology beyond anything we could possibly imagine. So the three things this is all about, that I believe, is world domination. They want a world government. We already know that Europe is heading towards having a one military army, just a one army between all the countries, which will probably save them money and make them a peaceful force if China does kick off or something. Domination, because if you control people, especially if you can use mind control on them, which is already happening, they've got ways of doing it. There's a lot going on out in China, like I said, now with stuff they're doing. There is signs that that's where we're heading. And of course the population, kill the population. If this virus ends up between everything that goes on, because we all know deep down that the after effects, this is probably going to kill more than the viruses. If they kill 100 million worldwide, that's a lot of people off this planet that they can easily afford to get rid of. The Americans might call it trimming the fat, getting rid of the rubbish. And their attitude is, we kill a few million Asian and black people and elderly people, what harm is that going to do? This is the kind of racist, horrible people that you're dealing with. These people are beyond evil, vile. And of course it's all connected to this monster paedophile ring that goes right away, like a big massive white stripe, right away through the heart of the whole entire world. It's bigger than what people imagine. You've got all sorts of cults going on. You've got celebrities. I won't name who's involved, but people generally know who it is. You know, the big knobs all seem to have a lot of access to certain things. They believe that drinking children's blood makes them younger and keeps them younger. There's cannibalism talking about. I mean, there was a big massive protest march in favour of Trump last week, and there was a lot of shouting and a lot of screaming about the big cult that of these people that are paedophiles, all including the big people, including the new elected President Biden and Hillary Clinton and the Clintons. They're all connected to Epstein, of course, who is the big kingpin when it comes to child abuse and picking up little girls and stuff. It's massive, massive. And they want to see Trump. Now my law of averages state that once Trump is out, this is probably why he's stalling, is they will take a pop at him. So what I tend to think is within the next 6 to 8 months they'll imprison Trump, to shut him up, or he'll have a bullet in his head. They'll get rid of him. And they'll have all excuses, built-in excuses. Somebody did it randomly, didn't like him, he was racist, some black guy killed him. It's all one big setup. And of course Epstein's sidekick, British woman, shamefully, Maxwell, she's behind bars, and the law of averages would state, I would bet my next year's money, whatever I have next year, I would bet that they will, before she goes to court, because she knows everything that went on, she'll be gone, she'll be killed. They'll find a way of killing her. And like Epstein, they'll come up, they say, oh, she committed suicide, and we all know that that didn't happen with Epstein. He was murdered by probably an inmate. I mean, you know, when there's money involved, anybody can be bought and paid for. And like the WWF, the $1 Million Man, everybody's got a price. So it's all connected. They want to keep their secrets and keep their power. If the secrets of these people came out, there'd be chaos, they'd be overturned. And as for the famous Illuminati, New World Order, of course, they're the big guys behind it. They own all the money, all the wealth, the so-called 1%. They're the people that generally run the show. And then you've got famous chain of command and your food chain and whatever else saying you can come up with. These people are, like I said, beyond evil. You've got David Icke, people like that, great people, all people that'll tell you their version of the truth. The great Johnny Rotten, Johnny Lydon, who I generally believe he swears blind that he never told a lie in his life, and I absolutely believe this guy. He was one that back in the late 70s was criticised for being anti-this, anti-that, God Save the Queen and anarchy in the UK, and he told a little story about Jimmy Savile, and they banned him off TV, and then years ago we find out what Jimmy Savile, who Jimmy Savile was and what he really was. And of course anybody with a common sense know that this man didn't do it alone. He had access to all these people, he was doing all sorts with dead bodies and whatever. One man don't have that kind of power. It's big. And the blue bloods, these people are just pure evil. So you've got David Icke that thinks that they are lizard people. They're actually not human. And he's probably laughed at by a lot of people, but there's a growing number of people that tend to believe that. And if you're like me, you go back to the Pharaoh days. You know, the Pharaohs, ruled Egypt and ruled the world. These people were far more intelligent than any of us and had technology beyond anything you can imagine. So I ask this question, were they from another planet? Are we from another planet? And if so, it'd be a lot easier logically to think that instead of aliens in big spaceships coming down and firing laser beams at us, that the easiest way to dominate us is by stealth, by hiding in amongst us. And if they have the power and the technology and the know-how to make themselves look human, common sense will tell you that these people are amongst us. And how many of us, when we talk about paedophilia and about abusing 1-year-old kids and stuff and all that, say these people are not human? Well, maybe they're not. So there's a lot of growing people that believe this is all one big connection, and it's taken us. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube last year, people saying that this is only the tip of the iceberg, and the big push for this world domination, and the world will change beyond anything we know now. The big date is 2030, 10 years from now, or nearly 9 years from now. And that is when we'll be all controlled. We'll be like ants. We'll do our work. The luxury we'll have is sleep and food. No going out to nightclubs, no going on beautiful holidays. We'll just be machines. And then you've got the other side where you've got artificial intelligence and now robots. Everything has been robotized. So 20 years from now, when all the factories, all the different companies are using robots instead of humans, what good is ordinary working class humans when you're not working class anymore? So common sense will tell you that they want to get rid of an excess amount of people. The other conspiracists say that there is a big massive picture that turned up out of nowhere in Denver, Colorado, in the airport, one of the busiest airports in America, and there's a picture that was put there and nobody knows how it got there, a huge picture showing the destruction of the world. It's quite in depth, it's quite graphic, and there's a little number underneath, 888,000, and the conspiracists say that that is what they want to get the population down to, 888,000 people. So that is over 2/3 of the world wiped out, and all they need then is to live their lives in luxury and have people underneath them to run the machines and run the computers. Highly intelligent enough to keep computers running. Whether this will happen or not, only time will tell. The thing is, what I say to people that laugh at you when you come up with these crazy ideas is this: time will tell everything. If what I believe, that this is the tip of the iceberg, that this time next year we'll have an idea of it to the extent of how much damage and we would head in for the next 10-20 years, by the end of next year, whether I'm right or wrong, it'll be proven. And if I'm laughed at, or many people like me are laughed at, because this is right away around the world, many people are saying this is too suspicious, this is all too, it looks too staged for it to be. There's no way is this an accident from some market in Wuhan in China. If it goes the way I think it is, I want to be wrong. This time next year, 2021 is going to be an even bigger year than 2020. If you think this year is going to be strange, look out for next year. And we now got a vaccine that they want people to use and take, and they'll bring in these new rules over the next few months when an X amount of people refuse to have it, because one, they don't know what is in it, and two, they don't know what the side effects is, and three, they believe, like me, is to gain access to power for you, track, trace and control. So what they'll do then is basically they'll turn around and say, well, if you don't have it, you lose all your luxuries. You won't be able to travel to another country. They'll ban you. They say, well, if you haven't got the vaccine, you're in danger. You won't be able to travel to Spain, to Turkey, to America, to Australia, to Africa, to India, to all these different places. They'll put a point system. They've already got it in China, where if you owe a lot of money, or if you're in debt, you slip down a table where they stop you from travelling and stuff. So you've got to be literally perfect. Everything in your life has got to be perfect for you to have these luxuries, to be able to afford to travel, to buy a new house, to have a mortgage, to go to the bank and have a loan, all this stuff. So next year, like I said, next year will tell the tale. If within a few months not enough people have the vaccine, and then they turn around and say, well, we'll fine you, or we'll put you in prison if you don't have it, you've got to do it, you've got to have it, so you're not volunteering, you're being forced, then this to me will justify everything I've said, and millions of people. And if nobody believes the amount of people that are now believing this, then have a look at American news and see what's going on out there, and try and get some footage online of the Trump protest from 2 weeks ago, where they're talking about the cult, cannibalism, and of course this drinking kids' blood, thinking that these people are going to look younger because they drink kids' blood. Also, there's something on YouTube, they certainly didn't talk about it on British TV. There was a anti-protest up in London back a few weeks ago, and they were trying to break the gates of Buckingham Palace, shouting paedophile, paedophile. Of course they were talking about Prince Andrew and the many different people that are connected to that. And then you add up all the other facts as well, Jill Dando being murdered because she knew too much about the paedophile ring, and then the mysterious sad death of Princess Diana, who most people in this country believe was murdered. I am now about out of time. This is part 6. My next one will be on something totally different, and I will see you then.